Let's go.
All right, Archer, you're the boss. Good evening. It's Monday, which means it's Enterprise at 8. That's right. It's Live Long and Podcast Star Trek Enterprise rewatch series. It's been around, 20 years-ish.
20 years?
Well, 20 years-ish, but anyway, that's fine. Since tonight's episode, Proving Ground, first aired, but we're just getting started here at Enterprise at 8. I'm Jody Simpson, and with me is my co-host and the man who likes the blue guys. He really knows his stuff. Adam Woodward.
Hello, Jody.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
I think I emphasized the wrong word on your intro, so it kind of sounded wrong. But anyway, that's fine.
Like the blue girls, too.
Well, I didn't mean to imply anything other than...
No.
Well, anyway, let's just move on.
The sub-commander was,
blue guys, she was all right. Girls. A couple extra antennas there, but that's all right. Anyway, joining Adam and I tonight is Live Long and Podcast, awesome producer, and the man who, just like the Andorian Mining Consortium, does not run from anyone, Dave Mater.
What kind of a situation did we get ourselves in this time, Pink Skin?
Oh, well, actually, if I was any whiter today, I'd be clear, but
okay,
I'm close anyway. All right. And of course, who could forget the man who would definitely have a round of Andorian ale with Sharon, Kevin Millard.
I'd always have Andorian ale. Anything blue, I guess.
With anybody.
You have a blue fetish, do you?
I suppose. I do now.
Oh, boy. Anyway, tonight's episode is Proving Ground. This is the 64th episode in the series. This episode is about an Andorian ship commanded by Sharon unexpectedly appears in the expanse to help the Enterprise locate a Xindi primary weapon. Initial thoughts, gentlemen?
It's great. I loved it.
Yeah, very, very good episode. Lots going on. More complex for an Enterprise episode than usual.
I'm not buying Dave has something else to say.
Pretty good. I have no, it's been long overdue. I feel like I've been waiting for an episode that's actually going to progress the season along for a while. So I'm happy,
With you there.
It's not an arc. It's more like a long mile.
Yeah, it's not like a lot. The last Chosen Realm was last week, which I could have done without probably. In terms of it being in the middle of this season. And then Carpenter Street. Kevin and I weren't here for, but we liked it, but you guys hated it.
It's because you weren't here.
We weren't here. We weren't here to tell you why it was good. And then everything, there was 3 or 4 episodes in before that were just about nothing. They were about Trip getting cloned or them going to the old West Town place or there was whatever was been going on. Right?
This is what you get though when you do 25 episodes in a season.
26, I think they did back then
for the series.
Yeah.
I call it the Twin Peaks season 2 effect. I love Twin Peaks. But season 1 is 9 episodes and it's tight.
It's cool.
And then season 2 just meanders along until the end, and then it's amazing.
Yeah, but look at Strange New Worlds. Every episode was good. And what Picard is becoming this season so far. Very tight.
Sam, say hello in the comments.
Oh, hey, Sam.
Hey, we had Klingons on? Yeah, Klingons are in the first episode, Sam.
Yeah, literally the first episode of the series, there's Klingons.
But then they go away.
Did you skip the first episode, Sam? If you did, that's bad. Because it's actually a pretty decent episode.
All right.
Yeah. Klingons running through Iowa cornfields. It was great.
Yes.
It's great.
Not only did you get Klingons, you also got cornfields. So it's a win-win.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Yes, you're right.
One of the Midwest states.
Yeah.
This episode left me wanting to watch the next episode right away.
Yes.
I didn't, but
I did. But anyway, that's fine.
But that's a good thing, and I don't know, I they say, well, they didn't have enough story to fill up 26 episodes. I feel like you could have maybe come up with more episodes, but I would like to focus on this episode as its whole. Yes. And of course, glad to see Shran. Of course,
always glad to see.
We get this glass of water. What could it be, guys? To start off the episode, who could be drinking this water? This looks like a very unhuman-like water to me. And then we see some
very
fingers.
cold.
Very cold. We see some fingers come up. And of course, it's Jeffrey Combs, and gets a call that to come to the bridge. We get to see this like Andorian ship interior. I think this is the first time, right? Like I don't remember ever seen this.
Yeah. I don't think we got to see him on the bridge, but we never got to see it like internally.
It's very minimalistic bridge for sure. There's not much there.
Yeah, although I like the aesthetics of it, you know, and like seeing more of this Andorian crew. We get to meet this new lieutenant. I'm trying to remember her name. Talus, right?
Yeah, it was like Talus. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's the only other Andorian who speaks in the episode. But they, you know, she plays her part well because if you remember, last time we saw Shran, his like other Andorian lady friend or lieutenant, she was like a traitor and she was trying to start a war with the Vulcans, and she was it was Kalar from, you know, Worf's or Alexander's mom, the same actress, Susie Plagson
Also played Dr. Solar.
Right.
Dr. Solar,
yeah, and so this new one, she's played by Molly Brink, who I feel like I know her from something. I couldn't place her.
Yeah, I got that vibe too. Yeah, I never bothered to look it up though because I wasn't that interested. But I did have this thing. Does anybody know?
Because I was like, I feel like I know this personality or this voice somewhere else, but I
got the same impression.
Yeah, she's good. She's really good in it. You know, and they're looking for the humans, right? I think is kind of what the teaser kind of leads us to.
This episode has it all, Dave. We got the mean kind of Andorian woman. We have obviously Sharon, and the star of the show, the puppeteer antennas on everybody's head. Because let's be honest, these are awesome.
These are CGI, aren't they?
No.
These are like puppeteer.
These are remote control. There was panels, and then they put them on. If you notice, Jeffrey Combs' head is kind of up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's literally a plate and it was a gyro thing. Like they could move them in any direction independently.
And that's
joysticks,
that's more impressive. I thought it was just CGI.
I'm sure there is scenes where it would be easier to do CGI, so they probably did it, But no, there was. I remember seeing something about it, and it was like a kind of like a plate contraption, and it was controlled by like a remote control, and they could literally puppeteer it.
So Molly Brink, to answer your question, guys, was only in 8 shows.
Ever?
Like, not even ever. Like 10 Tricks, never heard of it. HBO Imagine, the Mistress, The Running Dragon, CSI, 1 episode, 3 episodes of Enterprise.
Oh, okay. So she's been on. Well, she was on Enterprise as this character only, though. I think
3 times. Yeah, three episodes.
Only the 3 times. Okay. Well,
because we see her again. Huh.
She'll come back. So that's a teaser. So we only get Shran and her and the Andorians to start the episode, and then we come to the Xindi Council after the credits, guys, of Doom.
They're all mad. Everybody's mad.
Everyone's mad at everybody.
Everybody mad over in the Xindi areas there.
Yeah.
They don't like to wait.
No, they're not waiters at all.
We've had to wait.
Even the. Sorry,
I want to blow up planets now.
That's right. But even the whale ones are upset. They want to get going.
Yeah, they're all mad.
Where the fuck are they going that they can't just wait?
Yeah, they're the ones that are like, their reputation is that they always want to wait and they always want to deliberate.
Well, not only that, but they're also whales. Like they're whales. They got nothing else to do.
Yeah. But like they're all mad. They want to kill humans now. They've waited 13 episodes, guys. They're ready to kill everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're mad too. They want stuff to get going too, Dave.
Yeah. You know, I'm
they're
with
like,
them.
this is taking so long. They're going to the Old West, for God's sake.
Like, why are we doing episodes in the Old West again?
They're not even afraid of
time.
Oh, we're going backwards in time.
Why are we dealing with religious cult leaders? Like, I thought we were dealing with us. Yeah. And then we finally get the title card for the episode, Proving Ground. After all,
this was one of the longest intros in a while. Like,
yeah, I was like, when's the title card coming up? And it's until after.
It was like 2:38 or something into it. So
yeah. Pretty far into it. Of course, we go to the command center, Archer's, war room.
He's very happy. Archer seems happy for once. Holy cow!
He's like, I got a war room.
No,
Yeah.
because they're starting to retrieve his files. The files that
Well,
were
yeah,
all
they're
wiped
starting to
out.
get stuff,
I guess they were. Some of them were retrieved, or some percentage of them were restored from when the religious guy deleted them last week.
You'd think they'd have some backups or something.
Well,
I guess they
did.
did.
They had a it said it was in the redundant core or whatever.
Oh,
You'd
redundant
think
core.
they
Then
would
should
have
be
it
able to get it
all.
all back. You know how many hard drives have to go on my NAS before I lose everything? Like, come on.
Yeah, and so they're kind of figuring out where the weapon is. They're kind of trying to figure out where the Xindi are going to be next, based on, I don't know, some clue that maybe we were given like episodes ago.
There's remember he marked the chemo site, and that's
The
what they're
chemo site. following. Oh, they're following the chemo
They're
site.
following the trail, yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
that was
Many
that
moons
was
ago.
6 episodes ago.
6-7 episodes, yeah.
That aired.
I told you
on-
it's not an arc, it's more like a flat line.
that ended. That
There
aired
it
at
is,
the end
Jody.
of
It's
October.
right there.
We
It's
are
right
now.
there. There's
We
your
are now
story
at
arc.
at the end of. We're now at the end of January. So this is like 3 months later. We're finally paying off the chemo site.
Yeah,
You know,
these things
in real-
take time, Dave.
3 months.
We're world building here, Dave.
3
Yeah,
months.
we're building. So they're going after it. We see here, yeah, we already know Jeffrey Combs is in the
20
episode
years.
before coming out here, and so yeah, they're going after it. But there's definitely a different pace to this episode. You feel like there's this kind of like we're moving towards something important. Like,
Yeah.
This is not. We're not
Yeah,
wasting time.
We're hitting well, and on top of that, I don't know if the copy that you guys have, I have the DVDs of him, and the DVD has like the previously in the timeline
Yes.
or whatever, and it's like 2.5 minutes of like,
Oh yeah, that was on Netflix too. It was a long.
oh, was it on Netflix?
You
Okay.
probably won't remember. It was 3 months ago. You know,
Yeah, this was a while ago.
You are going to.
You've
be
probably
refreshed.
had kids since this started.
right. But yeah, and I know most shows almost always do that now. Give you a previously on, whether you want it or not, or need it or not. But they always will.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
like when
but-
they do previously on, and it's literally like a clip from like a year ago, and they show it to you every episode. I love that.
I was
Great.
watching this new show called The Power. Have you guys seen this yet?
I've seen ads for it on my Fire Stick, but I haven't.
So I
haven't
watched
seen it.
the first episode with Jade, and at the end of the episode, like this season on The Power, and we're like, "Don't tell us!" Like, well, watch the next episode.
Don't give us this information.
Yeah,
I want to be surprised.
We had to stop it. We're like, well, if we wanted to know, we'd watch the trailer or
I
something.
started watching that Kiefer Sutherland Rabbit Hole. That's pretty good.
Yeah, this Power is not bad so far. It's on Prime. I wouldn't
All right.
turn anybody away from
But
it.
you know what's even more interesting, Dave? 20 years ago, Star Trek. When
20
we
years
talked
ago,
about-
Enterprise. Yeah.
there you go.
So
Both of
Enterprise
us
has
are on a tangent here.
Enterprise has to go through some kind of a lot of anomalies. They're going
Yeah.
through a more dense part of the expanse. So and
Oh, look, there's Mayweather.
Mayweather. He has a couple lines.
Mayweather is like the Waldo of this show.
Was
He
Archer
like-
sitting?
whoa, hold on.
Yes.
Oh my God, he is.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it won't last.
He doesn't screw around when he's in the expanse, man.
It doesn't last. You will notice that every time he says something to someone, he always turns his back to them.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, he does that all the time.
Yeah. So they have to go through all these areas, and I guess DePaul is on the viewer, kind of giving Mayweather like the heads up of where to go and how to steer the ship around these things. But then she's
Look
like, "Well,
out.
a
Red
couple
alert.
are converging. A couple are converging. I've never seen this happen before, and they have to like get around it."
I love too. Archer is like, "How accurate is your charts?" And she's like, "Hey, I've only got 30% of what I had."
Yeah.
What do you want from me? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "What do you want?" I was like, "Well, that's good enough." And then it starts to go bad for them. They hit this really bad anomaly.
Okay, like you see this coming through the ship. Like I'm thinking in my mind, my face is going to be all warped.
Mhm.
I
You might
nobody's
lose your
running.
memory. You might only be able to remember for the next 15 minutes.
like-
Whatever.
But no, they just all right. We're going through. This is like the tachyon, scan or whatever.
Yeah.
sweep.
The baryon
Only
sweep.
Very
yeah.
way
sweet,
less
thank you.
lethal.
That's
Yeah,
a
no one-
great episode.
No one seems to get hurt or killed in this whole thing.
It
which
goes
is amazing.
right through the warp core engines. Nothing happens.
Well,
This guy flies off the.
It,
off
it
that.
breaks some electronics because we got to see some
It
stuff.
slams
Oh.
Archer into his chair. Mission accomplished.
They call it the Archer sit your ass down ray. Yeah.
You know what's interesting though is that for safety purposes, they really should extend the height of that rail because they people are always flying
That
over
rail is just useless. Yeah.
This thing, yeah,
This
like
thing-
somebody falls
same-
off this thing.
It was the
every
same thing in Next Gen though, in all of the shuttle bays, because whenever like somebody was up there and they were getting shot at, they would always fall off. Didn't matter what, and it was always like little tiny like
It should be
it
standard
would- it
procedure. If
wouldn't
you're up
stop at
there, you have to
Chihuahua.
like tether yourself to.
You,
like,
you should, or just make a like a higher wall. Be
Mhm.
fine.
or
Yeah.
some glass maybe.
But they end up getting it's going bad for them. They end up getting tractor beamed out by an unknown. They don't know who it is. Who saved them from this anomaly? Put it on screen.
This is
Uh,
great.
Oh,
I like that.
love that shot. That shot is fantastic.
It's
I
so
love it.
cheesy. I love it.
I
It
know
was-
it almost goes back to like Batman, that kind of stuff where it's like just crazy stupid shots that don't make any sense, but they're
And
there.
then the line, Dave. What
Oh.
trouble have you gotten yourself into, Pink Skin?
Yeah. What have you done now, Pink Skin? And he's kind of happy, kind of like, what the hell are you doing here? And remember, the Vulcans, both Vulcan ships that came into the Expanse did not have a good time. If we remember zombie Vulcans, but Andorians, they're fine. They're cool.
Well, as he makes very clear to mention over and over again how superior his technology is.
Yes, yeah.
So,
We get to see the
that's
two
what I
ships.
like about Sharon, though.
Yeah, like his ship. What I can't remember the name of his ship right now, but it's not that big in comparison to Enterprise. Actually, it's probably smaller in actual like possibly, or it's definitely got more of like a I don't know, like a almost not a bird of prey, almost like a warbird kind of a look to it. But
I feel like it's smaller as far as like the amount of people it could hold, right? Like
yeah.
it's mostly wings.
It's a warship, it's meant for things there. And then we have Shran. He comes over. He's checking it out. He's like, "Yeah, well, we caught up with you. We're way faster. Our ship's way faster." And so they're kind of like the Vulcans. They like to boast about how much better their stuff is. Just kind of a different way, a little bit. And kind of like catching up about these things, and the fact that they found out about the Xindi attack on Earth, and it makes sense to me that the Andorians would take interest in this. Like if another planet was being attacked or potentially being destroyed by an entire race, even if it's not my planet, I think they could. Why wouldn't we be next? If somebody attacked Andoria, we would probably be concerned.
Yeah, and I think also too that at this point they're really trying to figure out what humans are all about, because whether they need to form alliances, and Dorians aren't stupid. I mean, they where do we go? Where do we go for strength and friends?
Mm-hmm.
And plus, so far Archer has actually been a good friend.
Right,
Kamari is the name of the warship.
The Kumari, yes.
Kamari.
And I do also like how Shran kind of points out that the Vulcans kind of, haven't necessarily been the best allies to Earth in this whole Xindi affair. Especially what we saw. Shran doesn't know this, but what we saw in Twilight in that alternate future, that the Vulcans, it's not like they all took us in.
Dicks.
They didn't take in all the human refugees and protect us on their own planet or anything like that.
Nope. But that's one thing I like about Sharon's character is that he's always a couple steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
And
Well, he also
like
really
that.
likes to show that he knows what's happening, and he really this
he's got his
conversation
finger on
here,
the pulse. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this conversation. You were booted out of the high command.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
your uniform? I liked your uniform.
Yeah, I liked it before, and she's like, I like the rivalry between them and like the distrust that's always there. But
I like when he says to her, they wouldn't even give you one person. Like one, she had to resign to remain with you. Like,
But it's a great point. Like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't they put an escort together? Two ships in going in. It doesn't make any sense.
because they suck sometimes, the Vulcans.
Or they're
Because
just
there's
afraid.
nothing
They're
in
afraid.
scientific importance in the Expanse.
Right. But
deeply
There's not enough
uncurious
comets. There's not enough comets. Man.
Anyway, so he's and we and I think there's a little bit of suspicion. It turns out to be a very valid suspicion here towards Shran. Like he's maybe not being completely altruistic, and he's not really, but he's not either. He does want to help, but he his government has other things in mind, perhaps, and so he's also here to find out about the weapon, and see if he can use it.
I love how he plays his character though. Jeffrey Combs does he does such a fantastic job in every character he is, but
I think he defined himself with this guy. Like
this is one of the few good guys he plays.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. Sharon really isn't a good guy.
I think he is a good guy.
He ends up being later on, yes,
mostly good guy.
He's got his own interests in it.
But his interests always come before everybody else. He's got the Clark thing going on. Sorry,
he's a good guy following orders.
Yes.
He doesn't want to do this.
Well, that's true. Yeah. By the end of this episode, we hear about it.
Yeah, he doesn't want and I think if he can help them and fulfill his mission, he's willing to do that too. He really
likes the pink skins.
He likes the pink skins. He's like this ship full of pink skins. I'm like, there's black people on this ship too, right? Like it's not just white people and Asians and all kinds of ethnicities. But whatever, I get it. Anyway, so this is where like Archer's like, hey Reed, you know how you can't fix anything and you suck at your job? Why don't you get the Andorians to help you?
Why don't we get the Andorians to help you?
Yeah. And,
they're here. They know they can do it. Yeah.
They're good at stuff. You're not. How about we get them to help you?
You can go back into the armory and try to figure out what next weapon you're going to take 2 years to make.
Yeah. And he's like, good job. Okay, go with it. And he's like, fine. I'll work with these Andorians, Stupid
Andorians.
We get this walking and talking conversation next between T'Pol and Archer, where T'Pol's
they love to
like,
walk and talk.
They love to walk and talk. She's like, these Andorians. She's kind of reiterating that there's a reason my government doesn't really like the Andorian government, because we've had like centuries of history with them, and they're right from first, like she's like, I'm not prejudiced against Andorians, but let me tell you,
I'm not prejudiced, but
this is why they suck.
This is why
these guys are bastards.
Even though they were super emotional, we thought it was a pretty good first contact when we first met them. But then they said, as we got to be working with them, anything that didn't work for them, they were like, "Screw you!" And like we told them to screw them, and then that's kind of how like this conflict has been brewing for them for, I guess, 200 years. Is that what they've said?
Basically, what's happening between Vulcan and humans at this point in time.
Right, but they've known the Andorians for 100 years more. So
right, but this is the same story, right? The same.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
But what's the common denominator there, Kevin?
The Vulcans.
Yes.
The Vulcans.
Their fucking attitude.
But if the humans if Archer hadn't met the Andorians, then he maybe wouldn't have seen that. Like, this is where I was headed. I was headed in this direction, and this is where all humanity was potentially headed, in conflict with the Vulcans, which is not ideal either, so it's kind of giving him a chance to kind of take a step back and look at it a little bit more objectively. So that's kind of like, she's like, but you should definitely watch them while they're here, and he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Especially coming off them trusting those religious guys last week. Maybe they're
so he lets them right back into the engine room again.
Right.
He does say that, like, he doesn't trust them, but he does. Experience tells him he can trust Shran,
which he shouldn't either.
Yeah, right. He doesn't have a lot of experience.
No, in trusting people, I guess.
But he's got lots of like experience in letting people in where they shouldn't go on the ship.
Yes,
as we continue to learn.
I will also remind everybody that this guy runs the armory. So one of the two of them run the armory. Like,
yeah. And apparently, Trip's busy with repairs, and so is Malcolm. But they meet up in the mess hall, and then Talos shows up to say, "I'm here to help you, Reed. You're busy drinking coffee and being lazy. I can see, and not doing work."
Yeah. I love that this, like, she just looks at him and looks at his cup. What is that?
What is that?
That's not blue.
I love that he reacts to. It's like, rather than just saying "screw you," let's get to work.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, I've been working for 12 hours.
I haven't had a break in 12 hours or whatever. And
I just think he's whining.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, he is. He is. She's like,
just a whiner.
I would rather not be here either. So let's get to work and get the hell out of here, right? And Trips enjoy this whole thing.
Yeah,
too.
Trips just like, it's fun to see him get shit on.
Yeah.
God, I hate Reed. That's what he's actually thinking. He's like, God, I hate Reed.
Yeah, he was getting.
And then he
into
says
it.
something along the lines of, "I'll let you two get acquainted" or something
I'll
like
let
that.
you
and
do.
he walks
Yeah,
away.
get acquainted. He was
As he's
enjoying
eating a chip and throwing it in.
Yeah. And the next scene here, we got it's Shran and Archer having dinner together. Of course, Shran has the Endorian ale, much like Romulan ale.
Yeah.
And
I feel like they could have called it something else, or at least made it a different color.
maybe, yeah, but nope.
Maybe secretly these two races have both been like making the exact same booze and they didn't realize it.
It's you get the
It'll
impression
bring them
it's-
together eventually.
Like it seems like it's less like ale and it's more like vodka or or something like that, right? So
Yeah, because he's pouring pretty small glasses there. Those are
Yeah,
like
you wouldn't
two-shot
take
glasses.
shots of an ale.
no. Yeah, so it seems closer to that. Archer's like, I'm on duty or I got a lot of work to do. He's like, shut up and just drink it.
He's like, shut up and drop it.
Yeah. So they do, and he's happy just to have some friends here. And he says that his reaction to the booze, you're like, that's strong stuff. Very stronger than any kind of stuff we would have.
Actually, it looks like he's laughing at his antenna or something.
Yeah, maybe. But Shran also says he volunteered for this mission. You know, that they wanted to send somebody. He had the most experience with pink skins. He means humans, and that's why he's here to help. So he's he's trying to make it seem like there's no ulterior motive, but
I feel like it's probably true. He probably did volunteer, and he doesn't. He was probably a little worried that another ship would just destroy Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he made that very clear. He's like, I can't believe you're still alive. Like,
because they're still out of after. They're just after the weapon. That's what their government is after.
That's their number. Yeah, they're not really too interested in helping the humans at all.
No, they don't give a flying fuck. They want the weapon.
Right. Yeah. Just so they can stick it to the Vulcans.
But you can see in some of these scenes that Shran cares.
Yeah.
Shran cares. He also feels this debt to Archer because Archer did help him avoid the war and kind of, Archer's helped him more times than he's helped Archer.
But I do like that part of the conversation where they're like, well, hey, we seem to keep doing favors for each other. And he's like, well, isn't that the way,
alliances
are formed or something like that? I just thought that was a cool line.
Yeah. So Archer's down with that. We see here, like, T'Pol comes into the engine room. She kind of like eyeing the Endorians. She's like, these damn Endorians everywhere. All around this shit.
Damn dirty Endorians.
Yeah. She goes to see Trip. They kind of make mentions of neural pressure and
some strange reason. Trip is using a forehead thermometer
flashlight
on things, but
I guess. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if this conversation has any more substance to it.
No,
they're just talking about the neural pressure.
Yeah, 3 times a week is seeing you enough or something like that. She says.
I thought he was saying, "Come on, let me come more."
Yeah. Right, and then she leaves. He goes back to whatever. And then next scene's down here, where Reed is not working well with Talos. He's like, hand me stuff. And she's like, do you want me to get you coffee?
I love how the antennas match their mood, though. I love that.
Yeah.
I also love when she says sarcastically, do you want me to get you coffee? He's like, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
And she goes to like leave, I think. I got duties of my own.
And then Reed finally, shuts the fuck up and stops pulling rank, and he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, we can work together."
I didn't mean to be rude.
I didn't mean to be rude, except for all the times that I was.
Yeah, and all the times that you are. This guy is.
Well, in his defense, she did come in hot.
She came in hot because she's got shit to do.
Yeah.
Well, still, you don't have to get on him for having a cup of coffee, for God's sakes.
Well, she's there to work, and he's not working.
Endorians, where
it's like cleaning your house and watching your kids watch you. You know what I mean?
But yes, Sam. So the Endorians first appeared in the original series episode Journey to Babel.
Yes.
Babel. But one of the Endorians turns out to be an Orion in disguise. So there's actually one Endorian in the original one.
The original Endorians' antennas didn't move.
Yeah, they didn't move. No.
And they were actually more centered in their heads.
They were made of paper
they were-
mache.
They were like out like this, whereas like these ones are like this. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
today's Jody's.
The Trek reviewers here. Welcome,
Oh,
Trek
hello,
reviewer.
Trek reviewer.
We are reviewing Proving Grounds. So on the next scene here, we see
Oh,
that.
look, it's Mayweather again. We should have a counter for every time we see Mayweather in an episode.
Yeah, but like, come on,
Just
like
have it in the
that's
corner.
he's in the show. Like extras are in this show more often. Like
I know, that's what I'm saying. He's like the Where's Waldo of the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
He's always in the same place. You don't have to look very far.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
always quiet.
always quiet.
And he's always got that look.
I love this scene too, where he's like, "Well, we could do that."
Yeah.
And Archer's just like,
Yeah,
and
they
he's
used the
like,
long range sensors from the Andorian ship to the Kumarki. I'm sorry, right?
I wonder what protocol they do for ship to ship transfer. Always wondered that.
Looks like a video uplink.
Like, is it FTP? Is it BitTorrent? Like,
No,
what are they using?
I don't know.
I would imagine subspace.
Subspace.
Could be subspace. Yeah.
Yeah, but they see that they kind of take a look here at the Xindi, the secret evil Xindi weapon facility here. They're kind of figuring this out, and they get some trajectory here.
I like the fact that the long range sensors weren't that sharp. I thought
Yeah.
that was a nice touch.
Yeah,
Because usually in these shows, it's like long range sensor. You can like read the serial number on the bottom of the ship. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, it's
you're
not.
like, it kind of looks like there's 4 ships there.
Yeah, they can't make it out. Good,
Yeah.
like a long range, not as good as short range. And that we see like this is the Death Star is being built by the Xindi here to destroy a planet.
Well, that's the moon that they're shooting at. Yeah.
Yeah, they find that there's this blast in the moon. There's nobody in the solar system. And through the conversation, I think it's Archer kind of figures out that this could be. He references like it's called Bikini Bahama or something like
Bikini
where-
Something.
The Bikini Atoll.
Bikini Atoll.
Atoll, yeah.
It's where they drop the or tested nuclear weapons.
Yeah, he figures out this is just some like an island that they're testing this on somewhere. And then there's this next scene here.
So here's the problem with that scene. Just hang on a second. Why would the Xindi even bother with Earth at this point then? They didn't need to go and shoot up Florida.
No.
They could have kept everything quiet and just blown up this proving ground, right?
Yes.
And that was it. But anyway, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. So let's get into it.
Yeah,
I get
well,
the impression that the original one though was a lower powered version,
it was. But,
and they're
but
like, "Oh
Adam's
shit,
right.
we didn't actually blow it up, so now we got to do
They
it
tipped
again."
their hand as soon as they
Right,
did the initial attack.
Why tip your hand?
True.
Yeah.
Right? If they really think we're going to destroy them, then they would want to keep it quiet. But they're like, we're going to attack you, and then like many months later, we will finally finish you off. After we give you your ship a chance to chase us around and figure out what's going on.
I like how on this display though, it actually points out all the layers, like that are on this moon. I thought that was kind of neat. Just a little touch
Yeah.
there.
The scene here where Shran is talking to Tucker, because Tucker has like a security guard that's helping Shran go around the ship or escort him around the ship, and then Tucker takes over and then starts doing the walk and talk here.
We can't have the Makos doing anything right now.
No.
They're in training.
They have quota on how many hours a week they work.
Yeah, they only work like 1 hour a year.
Yeah. So, but basically, Shran's like, first they're talking about something, I don't know, like, but then they start talking. He's like, "I'm sorry about the attack. I heard your sister was killed," and I don't remember these two interacting too much before this.
No, but again, like I think he just loves to show how much intelligence he has. Like, he's been fed the bios and everybody in the crew. He knows what's going on. He knows about T'Pol. He knows about now Trip. What else? He's very informed.
Well, he's part of the intelligence organizations.
But
right?
this scene is also really good because it shows that Shran cares about what has happened. Because what happens here is Trip asks for a piece of technology for the engines. And Shran is like, "Oh, I don't know. That's pretty tricky stuff." And then they talk about Trip's sister and all that stuff. And then it really kind of gets to Shran, and he says, "I'll have that sent to you. I'll give you that."
Yeah.
Right?
You know what, Kevin?
Him personally, he really does care.
And he talks about his brother dying in a war with the Vulcans too, right?
I think
that's the relation between the two of them, right?
Kevin, you just made a great point because the nice thing about the Andorians is the emotional side. The fact that he can really empathize with what Trip and the rest of the crew is going through.
Right.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So these two, and Trip seems like maybe
Trip's even got like a little bit of the teary eye going on there.
Yeah, Strang got to him,
Yeah.
And then we come back to the Xindi. The Xindi are, of course, testing out their weapon of doom. Degra, the Xindi primate, and his bunch of stooges are getting
who all
here.
look the same, basically.
All look the same, yeah. Back here in the Council of Doom.
Very impatient at this point.
Very impatient. And the one Xindi primate there.
We've been waiting an hour.
He's almost like embarrassed. He's like, I can't believe this Degra. I can't believe he's part of my species.
He could never take a flight anywhere. You just turn into Bill
imagine
O'Reilly
him in the
and
airport
screaming at people.
He's like they're like Xindi is basically like the international like Karens, basically. They're all pissed off at everything all the time.
We told you we needed more time. No, you can't have more time.
Let me talk to your manager.
Yeah.
Next scene, they've all got that haircut that's swept.
And Dagger is like the floor manager that doesn't get paid enough. It's like, seriously, guys.
Yeah, he's only
He's only inventing
a Death Star.
But yeah, whatever. He's literally creating a Death Star, and they're like,
can you get on with it already? Yeah, like we could have invented a Death Star by now. Like,
we could. I could have made 3 of them by the time this has happened.
Yeah, maybe you had attacked Earth, like, and told us you were coming. Then we would.
Maybe if you guys weren't complete goofs,
right? And then there's a ship coming in. There's a ship coming in. What kind of ship? How about right here? And guess who it is? It's Shran from the Andorian Mining Consortium.
The Andorian Mining Consortium.
My name is Shran of the Andorian Mining Consortium.
We see here that Archer and T'Pol are just kind of off to the side.
Why do they need to hide? Like, I understand, they shouldn't be on the screen with this because this is obviously a thing, but like, was there not a better place to put them on this bridge?
It's pretty open, Jody.
Wouldn't his life sign still be detectable? Wouldn't a human life sign on that ship?
Wouldn't they be able to figure that out?
I feel like it was risky to call this stuff Archerite.
Yeah,
Archerite. Yeah, it was a little hard.
He's like, I don't care what you're looking for. Well, we're looking
for a rare element. Archerite.
Like,
I love Shran.
But the worst part of it, none of the Xindis caught on. Like,
no.
Well, they're not the brightest bunch.
No.
Well, see how long it takes them to make a Death Star at them?
Yeah. He's like, they're like, that's not even an element, Archerite. That's not even.
He's like, Archerite. I love that stuff.
Dagger's not having it. He's like, get the hell out of here, man.
My favorite mineral.
It's my favorite mineral.
Archerite is extremely valuable to us. Even a few kilos will pay our expenses for the next 10 cycles.
I love
What's a
Shran.
cycle?
Who cares? It's awesome.
I love when they're
He's
leaving
just gold.
and he's like, not too fast. The Andorian Mining Consortium runs
from no one. Yeah.
Yeah, of course I pulled that one.
The Andorian Mining Consortium runs from no one.
No one.
No one.
Oh my god.
That's brilliant.
But
he really buried himself in the part.
He sure did. They get close enough to get some pretty good scans here to kind of figuring out what's going on. What else? Oh yeah, these two are working.
Starting to flirt now.
Yeah, like there's I don't know. Like this is like I don't know if I was buying this as a flirt.
I think it was more of a tolerance thing. I don't think it was a flirt thing.
Tolerance? No, they're getting along fine.
I agree with Adam. I think that's what they were going for, but like I don't think.
Oh, you think so? I didn't get that impression.
Yeah. Look at Malcolm's smile.
Yeah,
He's like into it now.
Malcolm's like, what else do you do with those antennas?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny.
I'll see myself out.
He's like, a girl is talking to me. Maybe I don't want to die.
That's exactly right.
Maybe I won't pin myself to the hall.
Now I just got another woman to write a letter to when I'm dying again.
Exactly, but she's messing around with the sensors, and she's like, well, you want to fight these Xindi with bad sensors, right? But he's onto her. This was a sabotage attempt she was making here, and he doesn't let on, and so she goes back to doing it because that's what she was ordered to do, so that they wouldn't be able, the Enterprise wouldn't be able to follow them later once they steal this weapon.
I like the fact that we still have these little crystal card things that we saw in Next Gen, but in Next Gen they were way smaller. I like that.
Like the isolinears.
It's like these are like paper size.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the 5.5-inch floppy disk.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing, right?
The more primitive version. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And they got more sensor analysis coming in from the Andorian ship. And they're able to watch the actual test here. This is what comes next.
Just to update, we're on three appearances of Mayweather now. Just so you know.
Zero.
I think we've seen Hoshi twice too.
0 words.
Phlox is not even in the episode.
Nope. Phlox isn't even in it. Well, they don't need a doctor. Nobody's dying.
Anyway, but they attacked the planet with this or the moon, I guess it is, with the prototype weapon. It looks pretty devastating. Like Archer's just like, oh, that sucks, And then the Xindi are like, that's it.
That's all it does.
You were supposed to.
I waited an hour and a half for this.
Yeah, you said it would be destroyed. Like if you fired that at Earth, you would destroy a lot of Earth. Like,
well, when part of the fucking planet comes apart, like that's still, that's well done.
But this remember, this is just a moon.
Yeah,
it's smaller than a.
Sure.
These guys are going for genocide, like wiping out everybody, not just a little bit of people.
Digger's like, they don't pay me enough for this shit.
Right. They go for it, and I was like, if you hit Earth with that, we saw what you did with your even your baby or prototype killed 7 million people. Anyway, even the whales are like, come on, we're getting tired of this crap. You think that's genocide?
Well, what are they gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know what
all he has to do is hit the fucking drain plug and these guys die. Like, that's
as far as I get it, only one person can do this, Degra. So just give the guy a break and let him get to work.
Just
what happens if he fails? Like, what's their backup plan?
But not only that, they have the ability to fucking time travel.
They have the time travel. Why
does it matter?
They were developing a virus that was going to be based on blood types or whatever, and
they're really hitting on every angle here. I get that. It's nice to have several weapons, I guess, but
backups here.
Poor Degra, man.
Degra's like, well, it was kind of worked, it kind of did, and the chemosite's got some issues, but he doesn't really know why it didn't work. It turns out it's because that Xindi Arboreal guy we met like 8 episodes ago.
Well, he said he was going to sabotage it, and he did.
He sabotaged it, and that's kind of so it only blew off the top of the moon instead of just destroying it.
But I like there's a line that comes up just after this, I think, or actually it is this, and she's like, he's like, it was a failure, and she goes, yes, a spectacular one, or something like that. It's like, I don't know, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, he's like, that was a failure. Oh my god.
Right.
And then Archer just starts like laughing out of context.
Well, this is where they know
it was Degra. Oh no, that was
this is where he tells them about bikini, whatever, right?
T'Pol the entire episode looks like she's gonna cry.
Right? Yeah, she's got her eyes look irritated. Anyway, but I think this is where Shran offers to help him steal the weapon or steal like the prototype using his cargo hold because of the radiation or whatever.
No, because there's still the scene where they talk about the fact that the guy actually screwed around with the power supply or whatever it was.
Okay. No, this is where they agree.
Is that still part of it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know, because he's already said that part. And so this is where Shran's like, okay, I'm going to go off to my ship and we're going to help you steal this weapon.
And then Archer's like, I'll come with you. And
I'm coming with you. No, you won't. He's like, yes, I will.
And T'Pol's just like sitting there like, I told you he's a dick.
Yeah. Come on. He's like, it's my planet on the line. He's like, it's my ship. And then he finally agrees.
It's like Archer is like, again, like disappointed, They lied to me.
Yeah.
At this point, it's pretty much like standard procedure for Archer. He meets somebody, they lie to him. Like, that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd think at this point he would be like, okay, you're lying.
Right.
Nice to meet you. You're lying.
And it's after Shran agrees, like, okay, fine, you come over to my ship and you give the orders. And this is where he calls up this Andorian general guy who seems to be his boss. And you know, he's like, good job.
Okay. So the Andorians can talk to their boss.
Yeah. I guess
Better technology.
You
Just
know,
But
one
the Vulcans-
more way that Shran is better.
Every
Shran's
way,
better in every
because
way.
the Vulcans couldn't even call their home from inside the Expanse, right? Like, so
yeah, I feel like Archer just wouldn't even want to talk to, you know, Admiral Forrest.
What would
No,
Admiral
Archer's
Forrest
probably
say?
like,
Be
I'm in
"You
the
got this,
Expanse. I
buddy."
don't need. Well, all he does is it's like, you're the guy out there. You deal.
I
with
don't
it."
know what to do, John. You tell me. You know. So,
The most indecisive admiral ever.
yeah.
But
I'm
this, I
still
like
looking at
this
this
too, because you see Shran try to convince him and to be like, do we want to make enemies of
These humans.
of the humans? Do we?
Yeah.
You know,
And he's like, it doesn't
trying
even
to
matter.
convince them-
Soon we won't even need friends at all.
Yeah.
You know.
So I don't even think Shran is down with this genocidal idea.
No, he's not,
against
but
the Vulcans. you
His
know?
government doesn't seem to care though, so he's like a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah.
and he feels like he's torn between his loyalties to this is what I'm supposed to do, my duty to the Andorian Imperial Guard, and this guy who I've met along the last couple of years, and I owe a couple things, I owe some favors to.
But at this point, he's stopped the war between him and the Vulcans. He's also got his kid back, I think.
No,
There's
that's
not
not
an episode that. Oh, okay. There's an episode that comes up about that. Then, sorry, spoilers.
I don't think he's
and-
even had the kid yet.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
Right. This scene here between Reed and Talos, I don't really remember what happened there.
Basically, they all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh, you could."
Oh,
If
yeah,
you're
yeah.
ever bored of,
Yeah.
you know, being a useless fucking person on this ship, why don't you
Right.
come and explore with us or something
Yeah,
like that?
because
Yeah.
the
Or
Andorians are
military,
not.
yeah.
The
not
Andorians were not
explorers.
explorers; they're just pure
No.
soldiers, and
Yeah.
and you know, and talks about the conflict with his family being Navy men or something, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad would be proud of you now. Like, come on.
like how the fuck would she know?
well, I guess he would have to be. He's like one of the 80 people trying to save a planet of billions. Like,
Is there not peace on Earth at this point?
yeah, it has been for about at least 60 years.
So
Yeah.
why the Navy?
Yeah, who are they fighting?
Why do
Uh,
they need one?
Traditional thing, right?
Britain needs a navy, I guess.
Would the Navy not just be a bunch of explorers if there's no one to fight?
Well,
but
there
you-
still has to be somebody to fight.
I guess
like-
Coast Guards at the best.
The
case
entire
scenario.
planet isn't in unity. Like, there's no way.
Yes,
I
it
don't-
is at this point.
That's what
Yeah.
it's supposed to be. That's what
Yeah.
we're told.
Eh.
Rule Britannia, man.
Yeah.
Gotta have
Anyway.
a navy.
I guess.
you
Yeah. It's a weird. I would like to understand a little bit more around that one day, maybe. But
Well, I think they're just ready just in case pirates show up again.
just in case there's pirates.
You always got to be ready.
matey.
Oh, number 4. We
Yeah.
got four Mayweathers today.
So of course T'Pol's in command because Archer's over on the Andorian ship, and they're coming in here and like this joint venture. It's a joint venture, joint military operation. But Archer's just on the bridge giving the orders, and so the Andorians come in first. They're like, it's the Andorians, and then they kind of realize that they're working with the humans. They start fighting these Xindi reptilians, I guess. Fire shots go back and forth,
And the Enterprise does quite well. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I'm like, what? It seems like
They're adapting.
These Xindi ships are not very formidable for them to face.
But the person who actually knows what she's doing is currently commanding the ship.
True.
So they come in.
He's
they
also
come-
sitting in one place too, Kevin.
Yep.
Maybe that's the trick.
The key.
and the Andorians grab the weapon prototype with their
I
tractor
like the
beam.
Andorian ship, eh?
Yeah,
I like that design.
Bleak.
It's a bit of Star Wars though. There's a bit of Star Wars in that one.
Yeah, don't tell Davin. Okay, and then they bring it into their cargo bay with their force fields, so they don't have to worry about the radiation. I like that when they went to warp, it was kind of a neat shit to watch their ship go to warp too.
Yeah.
Bit different than Enterprise. And so they're kind of passing along, and then you get the shifty look here from Talos. That's a shifty. Like, are we totally about to double cross them? Are we ready for the double cross?
Are we gonna do the double cross now? Are we gonna do it? Do I get to hit him? Do I get to
Get
hit him?
off my ship. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like he's just telling him everything. Well, we're not going to give it to you. And I think Archer's like, oh, I guess I don't understand how Endorians give you help, or something. I don't.
He's such a jackass when
Yeah, he
gets
said
betrayed.
something stupid here.
Yeah.
Every time he's betrayed, it's like it's the first time it's ever happened. He's like,
Yeah.
how did this happen?
I didn't understand how Endorians work, I guess.
Betrayal. Friendship means betrayal. Okay.
Oh, I get
Must
it.
be a universal translation problem.
Yeah. Well, Shran says, I'm loyal to the Imperial Guard. That's who I swore my oath to. That's who what I have to do. So,
But at this point, it's not like Archer came out badly.
no,
No.
no.
Well, except now the Endorians have this weapon that they could use to kill everybody.
Right. And then Archer punches him, on the bridge.
Good old Archer punch.
He's like, I owe you that one. He was just because from the the first time we met Shran punched him right in between the eyes.
Yeah.
And knocked him out. See a little bit of blood coming down his lip there. And they're like, don't worry, Archer, we're gonna throw you an escape pod and tell them how to find you. It's all gonna be good. So we're not murderers, we're not totally bad guys, we're kind of bad guys, but we're not that bad. And then you see how Shran is just like not feeling too good about himself after all this.
I don't think
his
she is
antennas
either.
shrivel down too.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know if she's struggling with it as much as him, but yeah, like it's.
I also think that whatever relationship between him and her are, that she's feeling it. These guys are very empathetic, right? So
Yeah.
I think that they take their emotions and they're just amplified. And he's got a relationship with Archer. Archer has saved him, and now he's double crossed him. So yeah, he wears it. Wearing it. Look at him.
And Dorians, they maybe don't have the Klingon sense of honor as intensely, but they do have a sense of honor and what they're about, right? So this is definitely, I think, Wayne. We see here, this is the escape pod, I guess, that they left him in, that the Enterprise comes to find. They pull him in, and then there's more walking and talking here with
But this time Reed's with them.
Now the Reed's a part of the conversation. I think T'Pol changes her outfit.
Reed's like, did that girl give you her number for me? Did she say anything, guys? Guys, did she say anything about me?
Guys.
Chris Murphy pointing out the Navy's do more than just military. Well,
Yes.
even more so for even less reason for Malcolm's dad to care if his son's like a military man or not. Even though he's a security officer in Starfleet. Come on. He's the closest thing there is in Starfleet. Anyway, he calls up the Andorian general and he's like, great job. You're the best ever, Shred. And I'm going to give you commendations. He's like, please don't. I don't need any praise. And he's like, well, screw you then. We're canceling the parade. But we get a little bit of a glimpse of what Andoria looks like in the background. First time ever too there.
A lot of antennas.
I'm antennas. Yeah, like antennas.
Even
So
on
they're
the
coming
buildings.
along, and then because we see her how
I love those two frames.
his antennas like go right up, boom,
Yeah.
because he gets the call from the bridge. Oh, the Enterprise is approaching, and it's Archer. He's like, yeah, well, guess what? You sabotage our sensors, but Malcolm saw you, and it's all we were able to find you.
Not as dumb as you look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, give it to us. He demands the weapon. He's like, I'm not giving you the weapon. I have to keep it. And then Archer says, I have the ability to turn it on from here. I still have like that sensor telemetry you gave me. And I can
Remember when you were showing off how great your ship was? Yeah. I'm going to blow shit up now.
We figured out how to run the JavaScript. We're good.
Exactly. Archer, it's almost like a little bit of a poker game here between them. Where he's like, he tries to call down to the cargo hold. He's like, is everything good down there? And then he can't talk to them. He's like, you better let go of that thing. He's like, you wouldn't destroy the prize. He's like, I wouldn't let you take it back to use it against the Vulcans. Which I was like, yeah, I that tracks. Yep. So they eject it out into space, and it just does blow up, right? Like it's it's the Mayweather. It was a reuse scene. It's not the
Well
real
done.
Mayweather. We see the blast hit them. You know, in particular, hits the Kumarki. Is that what's called? Even more so. And he's like, tell Shran we graciously offer assistance, and if he needs help, but Shran says no, and he said he graciously declined for help. But we find out that Shran sent an email, guys, at the last minute with all of the sensor telemetry data, all the scans they had already done on the thing before Archer ultimately blew it up. And so even though it was destroyed, they have kind of the most important information about how it works and what maybe they can, where this will take them from here. So that Shran maybe not such a bad guy, and I got to punch him.
Shran being like, "Hey man, we're still buds, right?
We're still buds, you know."
I hope so, because I think he shows up for at least probably 4 more episodes in the series. So.
Right. Yeah, so he's like, see, I knew that Andorian wasn't so bad. See?
Now,
this is like the opening scene. He's got his data back. He's feeling good.
Yeah, he wants like, let's have some Andorian ale for dinner. I think it's time, you know. And
here's what I wish this show did. Not this episode, just this show. I wish they gave all the characters the same level of complexity as they gave to Shran, who appears like 5 or 6 times.
I know he's more of an interesting character than Mayweather.
Oh
like,
God, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even like,
but then Shran wouldn't be worth as much to me. He's my favorite character of this show.
Adam, do you have fun facts?
I certainly do. Okay, guys, this episode features not only a first good look at the interior of an Andorian ship, but also provided the first glimpse of Andoria. Very quickly in a monitor, but we saw it. Shran foreshadows the creation of the Coalition of Planets, where he talks about forming an alliance, although here is only between Andorians and humans, with the Vulcans pointedly absent.
And don't forget the Tellarites.
Yep. On the wall with the Andorian bridge, and I didn't see this, Dave. If you could bring it back, it'd be kind of cool. On the wall of the Andorian bridge, you can see the symbol of the Andorian Empire.
Oh yeah.
It's not by coincidence that represents some of the more elaborate crop circles found on Earth. This applies not only the Andorians pay secret visits to Earth in the 20th century, but they also tagged us as well.
I do have one shot here. I'm just trying to see if I have a better one. Oh, it's probably in those wide shots when he's on the bridge there, right? No. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
This is probably the best one I got at the moment, which is right here. So you can kind of see it up here at the top.
Yeah, okay. Have to go back and see that later. All right. The chemosite was modified radiologic signature from Enterprise. The shipment is finally detected and tracked down in this episode 6 months after its inception. So it's taken 6 months from that episode to this one. Good Lord, have they done nothing?
No wonder why the Xindi were angry.
Yeah. The title is based
6 months and 1 hour.
The title is based on the name for a military installation where weapons are tested or proved at sites such as Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland or the Yuma Proving Ground in Arizona by the United States Army. So this is a known military term. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can kind of see it there behind Shran's head a little bit.
Oh, you know what? It's also in their on their graphic.
On their graphic, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
at the end of like their communications and things.
And I think we all like Jeffrey Combs. He has this distinction of playing 8 different characters on Star Trek series. He played the roles of Brunt, Wayown, Shran, Tyrion, Kevin McCauley, Pank, Graham, and a holosuite guest. He was one of the 5 actors to play 7 or more roles in the Star Trek franchise, others including Randy Oglesby, J.G. Hitzler, and Vaughn Armstrong. Okay, but coincidentally, he's also appeared in Lower Decks. Did you guys?
Yeah, we know he's the murder. I'll create a fleet of murder drones.
Yeah,
I definitely have that on here. Here.
I will produce a whole fleet of murder drones.
The best thing about Shran is it's the same voice no matter which character he is.
So they had some reuse here. The Kamari's captain's chair is a reuse of the USS Voyager's bridge chair.
Oh,
is it?
Really?
Yep.
Definitely
Dave looks skeptical.
You're
Well,
right. It is.
It
It's
is. Yeah, that's Janeway's chair.
But it's like Janeway's chair wasn't like on a pedestal like that. It was built into into like that railing thing.
It was part of the railing system. Yeah.
I knew it was something familiar. Yeah. Good call there, Adam.
Thank you. And there's also a table apparently that was in Tuvok's and Chakotay's office in Shran's office or somewhere they use.
It's like in his
I don't think we're going to be able to identify that one.
Well, Dave would. If anybody could,
Dave might, but I can't. Yeah.
If anybody knows, Dave knows.
So you're saying this table here behind Shran is like Janeway's ready room
No,
table?
Chakotay's.
Chakotay's desk?
Chakotay's desk.
We only see it in a couple of Voyager episodes, but
I don't even remember him having a desk.
That's not. It wasn't that chair though. That was a different chair, and they definitely repainted it for this. But yeah, wow. Okay.
And in this episode, it becomes evident that the blood of an Andorian is in fact blue.
Yeah, tracks. So are Bolians.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just going to check one more thing, Dave, and then we can move on. But I'm dying to hear Sam's joke, by the way.
Oh.
He has to write it, though.
I think I saw that earlier.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear my joke?
Here we go. I do want to hear a funny joke. All right. And I guess that's about it, Dave, tonight. We'll just leave it there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Adam, for that. Let's jump over to our ratings document. Boom, boom, boom. And bringing that in.
Here it is. Sorry, the Shran's desk was ready in the ready room was previously used by Chakotay and Tuvok's offices in Voyager, specifically seen in episodes Tattoo and Death Wish. There it is.
There you go. Proving Ground, guys. What's our rating for this episode?
9.
Jody's going 9.
It would have been an 8 if Shran wasn't there, but because Shran's there, I give it an extra point automatically.
I really like this episode. I'm going to give it an 8.5. It was fun. I wasn't bored. Mayweather's fine if when he's seen but not heard. I like it.
I liked it fine. Although I wanted more from it somehow. So I think I'm an 8.
9.5. I love it. I enjoyed it.
And Davin's not with us tonight. So we're averaging an 8.8 on this episode. Pretty good. It has an 8.4 on IMDb. Directed by David Livingston and written by Chris Black. And yes, as Jody pointed out to me, this is the first couple episodes of 2004, but it's not actually 2154 yet in the show. It's December 6th, 2153 is the date given.
Wow.
So we're almost into 2154. All right, the next episode is called what, Jody?
It's called Stratagem. Enterprise captures Degra, the mastermind behind the Xindi weapon project, and Archer tries to trick him into revealing the location of the final weapon.
What? It's not some episode where we got to go and find some weird aliens that are now,
Dave, we were already on the Wild West place.
Or I thought we would get maybe knights in shining armor or something.
We are in it now, Dave. We're going.
Yeah, we're in the.
Yeah, no more wasting time.
Well,
well, we're not going to find any humpback whales in the Expanse.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Some zombie Vulcans.
Before you move on to everything that we do here, Dave, Sam wants to know, how do we get to Sesame Street?
Oh, he's already done this one.
Has he? I don't remember this one. Let's hear it, Sam. Come on. Got to have that answer.
Yeah. He's saying 8.5 for this episode tonight. Or 8.5. We're not sure. So
8 or 5.
Sam's a fast typer, I think.
Yeah. Fastest typer in the Newfoundland.
Why don't we just leave it until the end and we'll end
okay.
The
well, and on that note, yes, the guys, we'll sign off for tonight. But first, you need to know we have all kinds of amazing content here on Live Long and Podcast all week long, like our reviews of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which come out on Tuesdays, and we are just finishing up season 6. Tomorrow, we're talking about the episode Valiant, which is about Red Squad. featuring Canadian actor Paul Popowich as the captain. So check that out. Also, this Thursday we'll be talking about the next episode of Star Trek Picard here on Live Long and Podcast. That will be Thursday at 9. I think
3 more to go, Dave.
3 more to go. This episode's called Surrender. Episode 8 we're going into next. So we're gonna kind of see where that storyline keeps going.
This will be the heavy Troy episode, I'm willing to bet.
Well, there hasn't been. She's kind of made a couple of appearances here and there in the season, but she hasn't had much to do so far. So yeah, it would be her time, presumably. I already posted the punchline below. Okay, I don't know where his punchline is.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Also, we have other great content on Live Long, including some debates and trivia games. I think Debate 9, all women's edition, is coming up in the near future under our science division. Of course, check out the Locutors of Track with Davin Skellhorn and Dave Puxley, which Davin is now apparently getting on my case about.
Were you calling him Pugsley or something?
I say it. I just say it.
He said it fast. He just says it fast.
I just say it fast. And
Tell Davin to
I'm offending
down.
the Pugsley clan for generations.
That guy is a very smart man. That's all I'll say. He knows his history.
Pugsley,
he knows his philosophy. He is well read.
And then the Live Long and Podcast operations, where we do things like Star Trek radio theater and video games and different fun endeavors. Most recently, our Lower Decks read.
Give us a Dracula line, Dave.
I want to suck your blood.
Very well.
There you go. And what else, guys? That's our
the
Live
only
Long
Dracula I want now, Dave.
There you go. That's all I want to do for a living is just be a full-time Dracula. I don't want to be a vampire. Just play a full-time Dracula. We got the United Federation podcast, which has all kinds of amazing podcasts all week long that we're affiliated with. Like Davin's got the Simpsons podcast every Friday. KBBBL with Francis and Baker talk about episodes of Simpsons. Most recently, Treehouse of Horror 1 they just talked about from season 2.
Those are all gold.
Which featured Eamon Mater on that podcast. There was also the Hellbound podcast every Wednesday with Alex Blackburn, Michael Chan, where they talk about horror-related things. On Tuesdays, there's the X-Rated podcast with Davin and Andre, where they talk about X-Men the Animated Series. Andre also has the Graphics Histories podcast, where he's interviewing all kinds of fun people. He's trying to get an interview with Jaemeel right now, but it's hard to nail down, apparently. Hold up.
Got to get hold of that, Jaemeel.
Yeah, he's hold up. But hold up. There's Hold Up, a movie podcast every second Wednesday with Davin and Murphy, where they're talking about
computer movies.
They're doing computer movies, hackers, and the net, and some other thing.
Other thing
coming up in the near future. Check that out. Supposedly it's good. And the Super Mater Brothers podcast, which comes out right now Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, covering Big Brother Canada season 11. With Foster and Jaemeel, mostly right now, as I've been, tied up with other Star Trek podcasts. But on Wednesdays, we're all talking about Survivor season 44. That's just heading into
the guy that I know nothing about, but I picked. Is he still in it?
Yellow tank top?
No, that wasn't me. I'm the second guy on the first row.
Oh, wait, he's still in it. He's the Canadian. Yeah, he's
the guy who's wearing like jorts.
Yeah, he's like the guy from Saskatchewan. So yeah, he's still in it. Yeah. Still going strong. I'm
really following it, Dave, as you can tell.
You can really follow it. It's not a bad season as far as Survivor seasons go at all. And then also check out Trivial Debates. Most recently, yesterday, it was a Saturday. Yes, Saturday we did our all wrestling edition with Chris the Worldwide Murphy hosting. We had Jaemeel and competing along with Jason Phillips and Andre Mayette. It was a lot of fun. Some interesting debates on all kinds of things. All WWF or WWE, depending on what era you come from, related. And it was a great episode. So check out all of our great content in the network. And on that, guys, I think we'll sign off for tonight. I think we'll go. I think this would be the quotes I will go out on. And we will see you next time, everybody. Live long and podcast. Oh, why is that not working? Oh, did I?
No, I did that by accident. That's the punchline.
That's the punchline? Okay, here we go. Archer, where is it?
I guess I'm not familiar with the Andorian concept of help. I'm starting to think the Vulcans may be right about you.
See you next time, everybody.
Yep.